Welcome everyone. This is Andres Restart. I'm doing the weekly podcast as usual. We always do it here on the Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time. This time we're joined by Brandon from What About Nintendo, Mars from Lazy Gaming. The links to both their channels are in the description below. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I've been working all day. I didn't get out any content today because I've literally been just working all day on just getting stuff ready for different things, different videos, getting things ready for that. There's a bunch of preparation stuff, and then I put up a lot of soundproofing stuff, which I didn't get done, but I got a lot done. So the podcast should be a lot less background noise. So just doing some stuff to help out this channel and my channel and stuff like that. So been having a good time. Slow though, slow day on the content side.
You showed me that huge door that you got. It looks like super thick.
Yeah, I'll have to send pictures on Discord and Twitter and stuff, because I just put a bunch of like acoustical panels. It looks like super professional. It's awesome. I'll have to show you guys. But yeah, that'll be prepared soon completely. But it should be good for the podcast today, so that's good.
Cool. Mars, I'm pretty sure I said your YouTube name wrong. I think I said Lazy Gaming, but it's
Oh, it's all good. Yeah,
it's Lazy James. Yeah. Cool. But how you doing this week, bro?
Man, I'm doing good. See, unlike you two, I actually didn't have to do some work today, so I've been relaxing and just doing some light gaming.
On this
Played some
beautiful
Mario Kart earlier. Yeah, Memorial
Day. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm good on my end.
Man, playing Mario Kart on Memorial Day, that sounds pretty chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually was working all day. I got up, woke up at 5 in the morning, and I woke like 9 or 10 hours, came here, wanted to take a nap, and then I didn't take a nap. So, yeah, I got this podcast ready instead. So, yeah, we're good to go. But I may be a little less, I didn't do as much research today. Let's just say that, okay? But, I pay attention throughout the week, so I still know what I'm talking about, right? If not, I'm sure you guys do. But I think we have a lot to talk about this week, as is usually the case like every week, right? But I've just been going kind of crazy waiting for this Pokemon Switch announcement that we're supposedly getting. I'm like so into that. It's not even a game. This is life or death. Like I haven't been playing games, guys. I've just been following like the Pokemon Twitter accounts like crazy. Like my game is how often can I refresh within an hour? Like that's the high score I'm challenging every moment. So yeah, it's we're gonna talk about it later in the podcast. We're definitely gonna talk about it. But yeah. So I guess guys, for those watching, right, we're gonna be talking about potential PS5 information. We're really just going to speculate about the possibility, but some quotes from Sony came out that suggested maybe they are near the end of their generation. Then we're going to be talking about a Dockless Switch SKU and the possibilities of that and how that may affect the market. Then we're going to be talking about what I said we're going to be talking about, how there could be a Pokemon Switch announcement, and we'll get into that, maybe touch on some rumors and some speculation, because it's always good to talk about Pokemon and rumors and speculation. And then we're going to be talking about some more rumors and speculation about Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch. Emily Rogers had some things to say about it, and it's pretty exciting. And then we're going to be talking about the N64 Classic rumor, which is, I don't even know if I should call it a rumor. It's more like speculation, but likely, because there's been this N64 trademark that came out, and everyone's like saying, oh, maybe this means, hey, that we're going to get an N64 Classic, which... We'll get into all the details, but it makes sense, and N64 was my first personal system that I played a lot. Like, my first game was technically from Super Nintendo, but as a system that was kind of meant for me, N64 all the way. That was my childhood. That was my 90s. So I am really excited to get to this topic. There's so many different games that the system could have. So I'm ready, guys. Are you guys ready?
Ready to rock.
Cool. So let's see how everyone in the chat is doing. What's up, Mari? What's up, Shuntaro Furukawa? Yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about Pokemon. I know, Mari, right? Doesn't Mars have, like, the best ARMS shirt ever? It is so awesome. I also agree that Brandon's line looks pretty good, Sabbath.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, Arushan. Hey, Blackstar Dude. Hey, Josh. All right, so let's get the show on the road. All right, so then, as I suggested earlier, there's been some things coming out that are suggesting that Sony is nearing the end of their generation. Specifically from their shareholders meeting, they were talking about how the PS4 sales are declining. It's at that sort of natural state where the system is now on the downward spiral, right, the downward trend, which kind of tells them that, hey, it's time to prepare for the next generation. Now, does that mean that the system's going to be, PS5 is going to be announced at this year's E3? I don't think so. I don't think most people don't think so, but I do think it means that it may be closer than we realize, possibly. So, what do you guys think about this? Brandon, how about you go first? Because I know you have some opinions on this.
Yeah, I do have some opinions on this, and I think it is ridiculous if they get the PS5 out already. It's just because the PS4 is doing so well, I kind of lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Well, maybe it's not doing that well.
Maybe not. I mean, I feel like too many people are content with how graphics are this generation and with how technology is this generation that other than, say, the hardcore people, this isn't going to be something that a lot of people are going to welcome. And I know it's not really the company's fault. Like, it's not something the company should really have to deal with, but that's just how mainstream is. That's just how it is. It's unfortunate because I personally would love a new generation of systems for every. But I'd buy a Switch 2 at this point. I don't care that it just came out last year. I'd buy another one this year if it was more powerful. So, but that's just me because I'm super tech. Like, I like my graphics and stuff, and that's just who I am. Like, not everyone's like that. So, I just don't think it'd be smart for them, knowing the mainstream media, that they would go for that quite yet. So I just don't think the rumors that a PS5 is coming out soon are legitimate. I think it's going to be a while in the future.
How do you feel about this, Mars?
I personally, the only problem that I have a problem with is if you bought a PlayStation Pro. Now, if you got a regular PlayStation, that's 2013. That came out in 2013. But if you bought a PlayStation Pro and you have a game coming out, if a PlayStation 5 comes out by 2020, you might be upset. So, I can understand that. And how the PlayStation 5 is going to be more than what the Pro is. So, that's kind of insulting in my opinion. But other than that, I'm all about it because you got 2013 was the PlayStation 4. So this is about right for it to come out in 2020, and I'm just with it. I'm okay with it.
Okay, well, I mean, like, I guess in terms of me being okay with it, if it comes out in 2020, I have no qualms, right?
Yeah.
But if it comes out this holiday season, I'll be kind of upset. I'll be kind of upset because I feel like I was gonna get more out of my PS4, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but at the same time, if you look at the history of how Sony has dealt with their systems, even when a new system comes out, at least over the last couple generations, they still support the previous system for a few years. Even with the PS3, that was getting a lot of games, especially from third parties, basically the same thing as a PS4. They didn't look even that much different, just kind of like minor like frame rate and resolution bumps. So, even if that Sony does do this, like, I'm pretty sure the PS4 is going to have life for a few more years, right? So,
yeah.
I think, so if it's 2020, like, PS4 owners have, like, nothing to worry about, right?
Exactly.
If it's 2018, yeah, I'd be a little concerned, but I think we would have heard more about it, if it was that close, right? And like you said, the PS4 Pro is already kind of out. Like, maybe, they think it's still worth it, but at the same time, like, I think they just launched PS4. That requires a lot of research and development, right? I doubt that they, were able to move so quickly onto the PS5 immediately after the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
They need time to research and development, see how the market reacts to it, and then make that decision, right? I'm sure they may have been working on both projects simultaneously, right? I'm not saying that they started from scratch right after PS4 Pro, but I do think that, that because of the PS4 Pro, because of that research and development, that it does slow down the process for the next system.
Yeah, and see, what you said, what PlayStation does well though is you'll get a smooth transition if you have a Pro. Like you said, it'll still get support, so they transition pretty well. If you have a Pro to the 5, you'll still get the games, and they'll still probably look just as good. Probably a little bit under the 5, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal, I suppose.
Yeah. So, I have an idea, right? I have an idea. So, what if the PS5, right, is not like just a straight up like super powerful like new PlayStation? What if it's something kind of more along the lines of what a Switch is, right? Which Sony has historically sort of copied systems from Nintendo.
Yeah, because and that would make sense closer to, because you have the PlayStation Pro, and you can only make it look so much better going from a Pro to a 5. So they could go into another direction and let the Pro be that, and then have something completely what you're saying to the 5.
I just don't think they want to enter the handheld market again. It doesn't seem that way. I mean, they've said it themselves, like the handheld market, they've just not done that well in it. They've done okay, but I mean, just look at the Vita, it just didn't do well. And Nintendo kind of owned that market for a while. I think if they do make something at this point right now in 2018, there's not really the hardware to make something really that much more powerful than the Switch. You're not going to get PS4 levels with the handheld unit. Maybe if they do some kind of dock that also powered it up, you could get PS4 levels or more like when it's docked. But undocked, you're not going to get that kind of quality. It just doesn't exist, especially on an AMD side, which is what Sony uses. I imagine, and what's been almost confirmed, is that Nintendo has the lock on NVIDIA's that kind of Tegra line, that small processor that they use. They have the lock on that. They can only NVIDIA and Nintendo can use those. As far as I know, it's pretty much been confirmed, not completely. We've heard different things on it, but that's essentially what's going on there. So AMD just doesn't do as much mobile stuff. They're just not as advanced in the mobile market. So to get something that's even as powerful as the Switch is hard to do with AMD. So I just don't know how feasible them making their actual Switch is. Plus, I do think there will be a pretty big jump between the PS4 Pro and the PS5, just because the PS4 is being very limited by its CPU, which is pretty much the same. It's just an overclocked version of the one that's in the PS4, which was outdated when the PS4 came out. So it's just not a good CPU. I think if they put a better CPU in there in the PS5, we could be seeing 60 FPS for open world games like Horizon Zero Dawn, which are even 30 FPS on the PS4 Pro. We could be seeing them at 60 frames per second, different things like that. We could be even seeing, for games that take less power, we could be seeing 120 frames per second on some of them for people who have really high refresh monitors. So I think there will be a jump there that's quantifiable. But I just don't see them doing a Switch, their own PlayStation Switch.
I mean, I definitely see what you're saying as to, like, because Nintendo has a deal with NVIDIA, right? So, like, even let's say Sony wants to do the Switch. Let's just hypothetically speaking, they want to do that. It would be hard to. I think it'd be really hard to, because one, Nintendo has to deal with NVIDIA, and to get something that's that efficient and that powerful for a handheld at an affordable rate from another company, from what I've heard and seen, seems highly unlikely. Now, I mean, Sony usually does one-up Nintendo when it comes to hardware, right? So, I mean, we've seen it like with the PSP, with the Vita, and they've been able to bring it out at a pretty comparable price in the past, right? It's still more expensive than the DS and 3DS, for their times, but it's still been not too far off. So, like, if they were to go that route, I feel like they could manage to, create a system that is comparable power-wise, but what advantage would it actually have, though, right? So, and that's maybe one of the reasons why they may not go that route, because they may realize, hey, Nintendo has such a good deal with NVIDIA that they can't really just straight up one-up Nintendo power-wise, right? And have a competitive price. So, that's the way I see it, but do you guys see it differently? Do you think there's a route for Sony to take a potential like PlayStation Switch or whatever where they can make it work and perhaps compete with Nintendo in that way?
No, I really don't. Especially, I mean, they wouldn't have cool things that the Switch has, like HD Rumble, the IR sensor that allows to do Nintendo Labo and different things like that. There's a lot of different things Nintendo has that are patented, and you can't really copy that. So, I mean, they could do something similar to HD Rumble and maybe get away with it, but it's just like, it's just some things the Switch has that you can't. And as I said, AMD, maybe they work something out. Maybe behind the scenes they're working on some kind of chip for Sony. I don't see it. Plus, Nintendo's just, it doesn't matter how much more powerful PlayStation's handhelds are. Nintendo just sells better. It's always been.
That's true. They've never really been able to keep up. I mean, when the PSP came out, they did the very best. Like, that was probably the most competitive, any company's ever been with Nintendo from the handheld market, right? And then the Vita Sony gave up on the Vita. They gave up on the Vita, which is kind of sad because I know a lot of people really appreciate that system, and in some ways it is kind of like a predecessor to the Switch, right? Because it played a lot of console comparable games, and you could take that on the go, and that's a big premise for the Switch. So, but yeah, I think I guess to sum up things from my end, whatever Sony does in the future, I don't think it's going to really hurt Nintendo. I think all three companies are sort of pushing in their own direction at this point, and they're finding ways to coexist and still have a good share of the market.
Yeah, they all got their own lane.
Yeah, but I guess I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking what exactly the PS5 would be like. What would they do to make it different? But maybe they wouldn't make it different. Maybe it could be like a strictly like cloud-based system. No more discs, right? Which
so the Xbox One before Microsoft got absolutely destroyed, and then they had to change everything.
Yeah. Sony would love that, right? But would the consumers love it? Would they decide that that their fan base, their audience would actually think it's a great idea? When the Xbox One was coming out, it was probably not a bad. It was not going to work, But maybe by 2020 things are a little different. But I'm just speculating. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. They have a better understanding of their numbers and business models, and if that's like something that could work. Just speculation, right? Because we are sort of moving in that direction of cloud-based gaming and things like that. So
true. I just think there's this. It's not even a vocal minority because it's a pretty large group of people, but more and more people are going towards digital downloads only. So it is getting smaller, but there is this vocal minority that would just absolutely destroy PlayStation about this. Like, because there's a lot of people who love physical games. They love physical media. They love actually owning stuff. They don't like the cloud. They don't like having to, worry about storage space as much, even though, you still have to download parts of the game on PlayStation. And on the Xbox, you have to download the whole thing. So it's still a concern, but it's less of a concern. You feel like it's less if you have this package. Some people feel this way. And it's just, I think the overall media would just absolutely destroy them. And even if it is a good decision business-wise, I think the consumers' backlash in the vocal minority could even go as far as to, just spread rumors and just things that would just put a negative light on the PlayStation 5. They definitely don't want that. Because even, one bad start, one bad move can make your system just dead on arrival, which is what happened with the Xbox One. People, even though it wasn't gonna suck, it wasn't gonna be like the absolute worst thing ever, people kind of made it out to be like this terrible system that nobody could ever possibly ever want at all. And then PlayStation 4 came in, Sony came in, they were like, our system is way better than that. Look at all these things it can do that we've been doing for like 20 years, But it's new now because Xbox isn't going to do it. It's just, any sort of bad negative media can destroy you, even if it's taken out of hand, even if it's taken out of context. People don't care. It's mainstream. They don't actually go check their sources or look anything up. They just read a news article and go, PS5 sucks. I'm not going to buy it now.
Yeah. I'm kind of ready to move on from the PS5 stuff, because this is a Nintendo podcast. Yeah. But yeah, so let's move on. Um, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, Zach is back. I think there would be backlash.
Exactly.
What's Shaman King saying? He's telling us to check out. Oh, he's talking about the big three. Yeah, the big three for anime, like One Piece, Bleach, Naruto. That was. I wouldn't say that they're not the big three anymore, but they were during like the better part of the first decade of the 21st century. I would say that's definitely the case. Yeah. If you haven't seen any of those, you should definitely want to go watch them, guys. So let's move on to this dockless Switch. So in Japan, right, there's a new SKU for a dockless Switch. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I heard the equivalent is basically it's like $45 cheaper than a normal Switch bundle, right? And it comes with just the Switch, like it comes with just this. Like this is all it comes with. It doesn't come with a charger, it doesn't come with a dock, it doesn't come with a controller grip, right? This is all the packages. But you save $45 and it kind of works. Nintendo's sort of marketing it as it's not meant for people who don't have a Switch already. It's meant for people who are already in a household with the Switch, so they can get an additional Switch, but still have access to a dock and charging as well. And I personally like the idea of this, but apparently it's not planned to be coming to the North American states or this market. So, Nintendo may have different plans for that in the future, but I kind of like the idea of it. I don't like the pricing of it. How do you guys feel about this? If you didn't have a Switch already, would you buy this?
No, because I play docked like all the time. But I don't think it's meant for people who, or it is sort of meant for them, but it's mostly meant, I think, for people who already have a Switch. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's called like a companion Switch or something like that. The name of it in Japan, I forget exactly what it is, but it implies that you already own one. So it's like for another family member, like multiple people in a single family, or something like that. It's not really for your first time. It can be maybe if you only want, maybe instead of a Switch Mini, this is what we'll get eventually. Just no Switch. Except I don't know why they wouldn't do it in America. I feel like America would like this as well, just cheaper, and some people just love handhelds. I mean, handhelds sell well in America, but as far as I know, the price, I think you said it was like $45. I checked it. I think it was like $60 cheaper. I don't know, but it's a considerable amount cheaper. I mean, the dock is like what, $80 by itself, and it doesn't come with a power adapter, so it should be. I don't know. I don't know
feel
why
like it should
it's
be
not
way
like
cheaper.
$200.
I think it should be $200.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not. I feel like if they released that for $200 in the States, that'd sell really well. I don't know why they're not doing that. But maybe they'll be losing money on it that way. Maybe they know people will buy it anyways. Japan is just handheld, just centric. I mean, they just love handheld, so maybe they kind of didn't see that as a big states market. I don't really know.
I think this one, I do think it will come to the States. I think it'll be later. Just I know when they first released the Splatoon Joy Cons, that was only in Japan. That's the only place you could get it. And then eventually, like 8 months later, it came to the States. So maybe within a year it will come. But I've seen a lot of people talking about this. But I was watching Brandon earlier this week, and he brought it to my attention about this thing. But I saw a lot of people reporting on it, but they're not reporting like what you guys are saying. It's like it's supposed to be if you already have a dock, if you already have a Switch in the house, and people are looking at it as just buying a Switch and then not having anything. But I will say, like, I have an example. So I have friends, that are married and they have kids, and you have a game like Splatoon. You have to buy one copy of Splatoon for each person. It's not like Mario Kart where you buy one Mario Kart and four people can play. So maybe Nintendo will be coming out with games where you have to, even though it's a four-player game, you have to buy four copies of it to enjoy the four-player part of it, and then you'll have a Switch for each person. So, hey, Nintendo's already said. Somebody asked them, "What are your plans?" We want a Switch in every hand. Every person should own a Switch. So hey, that's the way towards it.
Definitely,
Right.
yeah. I just hope that it doesn't cost us $45 cheaper to get half the value.
Yeah.
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 Especially
I mean, like a
the
third.
dock is just a beast with the price. The dock is a beast, and then I actually I was gonna buy a dock, but I just got an AC adapter extra. But I mean, the dock is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not 200 because the docks are $80 separately, and the AC adapters are $20 separately. So 20, 80, simple math. I guess you guys can all do this.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
$200.
let's look it up right now. The Dockless Switch price.
Right. I think
Right.
it's like
And then I'm going to convert yen, which I don't know how to do, but I'm sure
I
there's a
just look
website
up
somewhere.
USD to yen.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Alright.
looking up the price right now exactly in yen.
Mhm.
Well, the site that I look it up will probably tell me the equivalent. See,
Now let's be honest, that dock doesn't cost $80 to Nintendo. That dock
All right.
probably costs $20.
right, yeah.
They're getting us for at least $60 to $70 on profit.
Right.
I guess it's weird because the Switch is selling for $300, right? Or am I?
Yep.
Did I miss something?
It is.
So, all right. While I was watching the IGN podcast, I don't remember when I watched it. Everything's all a blur. But they were saying that you were saving about $45, if you got this package instead. But here on this website, it's saying that the yen value approximate is $226, and if
Yeah,
you're saving
almost
$45.
$80.
If you're saving $45, I guess there's some sort of when you convert yens and the ratios are all off, but it's still not at $200. Point being,
Right.
Which I think is it's not just the dock, right, which is selling for $80 individually. It's the actual like grip, right, that can turn your Joy-Cons into like a standard dual analog controller, right? You're missing that, and you're missing the charger. Right, you don't even have a charger from the box. So like, if you were someone who wanted to just play handheld Switch, who didn't have a Switch already, or wasn't a part of a household who had it, you need to get a charger individually. And this product is not meant for those kinds of people. But I do think that down the road, we will get a dockless Switch that is perhaps meant for people that will come with a charger. Right, maybe. When Pokemon hopefully comes out in November, they release a $200 Pokemon SKU, right? That is okay. If it came packaged with Pokemon, I think it would probably be more like $250, $260 because of the price of the game.
Right.
But it wouldn't have a dock, right? But it would still come with a charger. That would sell like crazy.
That would sell very well.
It would basically be the same value as getting like a new 3DS a few years ago with the new Pokemon game.
Yeah.
And that would, I think,
Yeah.
that would,
That's
get a
very
lot
true.
more Switches out there.
I think one of the reasons the 3DS is still selling is because just how much cheaper it is. So if they can get it down closer to 3DS XL prices, that'd be good.
Yeah, for sure. So then, do you guys agree with me though? Do you think that they'll come with some sort of like dockless Switch packaging in America, or is it just my optimistic wish?
It's a must in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I really think they should. I think it would just sell well. So I don't know if this is just PR or if they're stupid for some reason. They don't think it's gonna do well. I think they should at least. Whether or not they are planning actually in the background, who knows?
Well, they probably said, let's see how many we can sell for $299 first, and then we'll bring the other one.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, this may not be like their big like branding push for something, right? Like I wouldn't even count it as a discount. Maybe it's just like an option they're offering currently, but once we get closer to holidays, they have more, I guess, like enticing packages that will be for dockless Switches and hopefully dock Switches, because that's what I care about. Because I like the dock. I wouldn't want to Switch without a dock. I need more docks in my life because there are multiple televisions in my home. So I'd like to take the Switch. Oh, okay. Not in my room, or I'd just go to the living room, plop it in there, right? Like that's what I want. So
exactly,
I want actually a dock price drop. That's something I would like to see.
Yeah.
4K dock, man. That's when the price drop.
Well, that's what I was thinking the same thing actually. Like if you do eventually come out with a 4K dock, right? As we speculated for like a year now, like when that happens, I feel like they would also drop the price for the normal dock.
I think that would be true.
Yeah. But I guess just, if they had a 4K dock, how expensive do you think it would be? But I guess we have to decide what it would actually be doing, right? I guess what it would do is basically it would allow for Breath of the Wild, like literally Breath of the Wild and other Nintendo games, right? Breath of the Wild would be able to run at 1440p, 60 frames per second. Not actually 4K, but I don't think they would do that. But let's just say it could push every Switch game to 1440p, 60 frames per second. Like that's what was built into the hardware, and that's what it allowed to do. All the game needed was a simple patch to be able to do that, and that's the value that the 4K dock offers.
Right. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna happen.
No.
Not 60 frames per second. 1440p Breath of the Wild is possible with a hardware dock, but
so maybe 1080 60 or 1440p 30.
The problem is the CPU. You cannot dual CPU. Unfortunately, it just won't work. You can't have two CPUs. You can have two supportive GPUs. You gotta put a GPU in the dock, but having two CPUs isn't really something that's a thing or affordable. So you could see Breath of the Wild 1440p, 30 frames per second. Maybe it will run a smoother 30, but I don't think you could get it up to 60.
So then, just I guess to make it clear for myself, right? Because I don't entirely understand it, but I feel like I've heard this before. But basically, what you're saying is that like CPUs, you can't just attach another CPU with a USB drive and hope that it's gonna run a lot better. It doesn't work that way, right?
It doesn't.
Okay, but if you do add more GPU support with a dock, right, with an additional GPU in this 4K dock we keep talking about, it would maybe make it a little easier because GPUs these days can do some of the CPU work, right? Or no?
They can. They probably shouldn't.
Okay. Because I remember talk from years ago about a GPU, which was a new type of GPU sort of style that allowed GPUs to offset some of the work that CPUs had to do.
It's possible they just don't handle it nearly as well.
Okay. But basically, to your point, though, is that you think that if they were to do this, what we would see is basically resolution bumps, and they wouldn't jump. Games would at 30 frames per second wouldn't all of a sudden jump to 60, but maybe if they were at 30 and a little choppy, they'd be a smooth 30, and if they were at 60 and a little choppy, they would become a smooth 60.
Yes,
okay.
That would work.
Okay. So, bearing that in mind, if that's what this dock did, how expensive do you think it would be?
$150, maybe $200.
Ooh.
If it's going for 1440p, probably 150. Anywhere near 4K, you're going 200 plus. I think they could probably get it. Yeah, I mean you're essentially doubling resolution on your highest. Like if 1080p, 1440p is double that. So most games on the Switch are 900 to 1080p. So you're only doing like double the GPU work. So you can probably get, $150.
Okay, I'd pay $150. What about you, Mars?
I'm not mad at the 150. Especially for what it would do.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would love to see all my games at least be at 1080p. Every game being at 1080p, especially games like, for example, like Doom and Skyrim, right, which are more graphically intensive games that have to have certain drawbacks to run on the Switch. Like,
those would probably be like 1080p, I imagine.
Yeah.
And not go all the way up to 1440p. I mean, the PS4 Pro, the most demanding games, they're still at like 1080p upscaled, or like a little bit over 1080p upscaled to like 1440. They're not even close to full 4K. So.
Yeah.
And at 30 frames per second because the CPU in there is limited.
Absolutely. So then, are we ready to move on from this Dockless Switch talk into, I guess, the bigger topics for the night? All right. So let's do that. Now, before we do, though, I do want to address the chat, right? And I try to be forthcoming with you guys, but, there's some things that I don't always say, because I don't think it's the right time for it, right? But you guys are asking, so I'm going to tell you. Yeah, Will, as of now, is not currently an official member of the cast. We're still friends. We're still good. He may come on in the future, but I have had a few discussions with him, and I decided, right? Of course, I ran it by Brandon to see what he thought about it. And it's just basically Will and I hadn't always gone, sometimes we don't communicate well with each other, right? And I felt like that affected the podcast. We had a lot of disagreements. So I decided we should take a break for a while, and focus on our own things. So, yeah, that's why he's not on there right now. But, Will's still awesome. He has a great channel. Make sure you check him out. And that doesn't mean he won't be on in the future. But, for now, we're at least taking a break. So, just putting that out there for you guys. Being fully forthcoming. That's the truth. Okay? So now you guys know. So let's move on. Unless you guys have anything to add to that.
Yeah, I think we covered it pretty well.
All right. So, I need a Pokemon Switch announcement. That is
my gosh.
the next topic in order.
I'm refreshing Twitter right now.
I just need this thing, man. It's been pulling at my heartstrings, bro. It's been pulling at my heartstrings, and I need to know about this game. There's always that little bit of concern that maybe the game's not going to be that good, but then there's all this anticipation and hype that makes me think it is going to be really good, and there's also the concern the game might not come out this year, and it's just kind of crazy. But there's so many different things that are teasing the game. Emily Rogers is saying that this game will be revealed by the end of this month. She literally said that it's going to be revealed the last week recently. So then, this is the week. This is it. It has to happen. It hasn't happened today, but of course it's Memorial Day, which makes sense. So either A, a lot of sources are completely wrong, or Pokemon Switch is finally going to be revealed this week. What do you guys think about this? And are you guys as crazy as I am?
Oh, gosh, it's insane. It just is insane. Like, the hype is just it reminds me of earlier in the year, back in I think January, when we were all waiting for that Nintendo Direct, and they were just teasing the hell out of us. It feels kind of like that. Everyone's on the edge of their seats. Everyone's in, suspense. They're all waiting for this big announcement, and I just hope they can deliver, because the hype is it's almost unsustainable at this point. I'm kind of worried that maybe they can't deliver. I feel like people are getting their hopes up real high, so maybe people should calm down a little bit. This isn't gonna be Unreal Engine 4 gigantic MMO Pokemon or anything. So calm down, keep your expectations in check. But I'm definitely super hyped for what it's gonna be, and I just feel like there's too many people supporting this rumor for it to be false. Of course it can. It's happened before. It's just very unlikely.
What do you think, Mars?
I don't know. It is kind of tough for me. I with E3 so close, they have to do it there. Now, with that said, I thought they would have held Smash for E3 to give an uproar at E3. So maybe it can't. Part of me feels like, yes, it can be revealed now this week because of what happened with Smash, and I thought they should have saved Smash for E3. But I think it'll come out E3. E3 is just too close, in my opinion, for it to be this week. And then I guess, with Nintendo, Nintendo they do things on weird days, so it'll be a Tuesday, which is tomorrow. And I don't think if it doesn't happen tomorrow, I don't know that it's gonna happen.
Right. I mean, that would make sense in everyone's mind except the Pokemon companies, because the Pokemon company, they're like, no, Nintendo cannot be the one to announce our stuff. We have to do it. I mean, last year, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, that was a week for E3 when that was announced, and this big super special Pokemon Direct. Everyone thought it was gonna be Pokemon Stars, and it wasn't. And they're just crazy, man. They don't take logic into account. They're just like, no, we have to do it our way because we're the Pokemon company. We're just that awesome. So I can totally see it being ridiculously too close to E3, and them just yep, we're gonna announce it now because reasons.
Yeah, I think what you said, a lot of people like to have control over their own things, and I think E3 kind of takes that control away sometimes with the hype.
Mm-hmm.
So people no, we're gonna get our control back. We're gonna announce it when we want to announce it, and then we'll talk about it at E3. We'll put it out before E3, and then we'll elaborate at E3.
That's what I want to see. I want them to put it out, but when a tease, right? But I want to see actual I want to see graphics. I know. I need at least 30 seconds of something. I need 30 seconds. So I'm not asking for 5 minutes. I'm asking for 30 seconds. Give me 30 seconds to tide me over for the next 2 weeks, and we're good. And then at E3 we can get maybe a 5 minute. Okay, maybe that's too long for a direct. But we had 2 to 3 minute overview trailer. Maybe Masuda comes on for an interview. He's like, "Oh yes, Pokemon's about this. It's about going back to the origins of Pokemon and rebooting the franchise and all that cool stuff." And then we see it played at on the Treehouse for like 30 minutes at some point.
Yeah, and I don't know if y'all remember last year, but after they did their direct, it went directly to the Treehouse, and then they had they talked about what they were going to do in the Treehouse, but then they had the surprise, I think, which was Metroid, right, on the 3DS.
Right.
So they might have a surprise Treehouse situation for the Pokemon. You just never know.
Also
they're porting Pokemon Switch to 3DS.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I would be a little upset. But it's still the fact that Pokemon would be on the Switch would still. I don't think that's gonna happen. It's just a joke, but
Right.
So yeah. Now, I think it's gonna be announced this week because I have to. But no, there's a lot of sources suggesting that it's happening this week. Like there hasn't never been this much information saying it's gonna happen this week. Any other week beforehand, right? We've just always kind of hoped that maybe this is the week. There've always been rumors, but those weren't verifiable rumors. Now we're having, I guess, verifiable rumors saying that it's this week. This is the actual week that the rumors from the credible sources are telling us. So, yeah, I guess we'll find out really soon. But what about, I guess, everything else? We've touched on previous discussions. But how do you guys feel? About this game going to Kanto? I personally think it's going to be more of a sequel it's going to be different. It's not going to be a straight up remake. But are you guys excited about going back to Kanto? Mars, I don't think you've had a chance to talk about this on the podcast. So what do you think about the rumors of Pokemon Let's Go?
I don't know if that is. I think I read articles about the Pokemon Company, and they were really impressed by what Zelda and Mario was able to do with refreshing. So that's why I don't know that they're going to go back. I think they're going to refresh, to be honest. And I think I'm going to be shocked by something new. So that's how I feel about it. I think they're going to try to refresh on this one.
What's really happening is that they purposely leaked all this Pokemon Let's Go stuff. What's really happening is we're getting it's going to be the first game with this new 4K dock. It's going to be a full Unreal Engine 4, better than PS4 Pro graphics, and it's going to be an MMO, and people are just going to get their minds blown. Now, obviously, I'm joking. I don't think anybody would think I'm not joking, but there's some people. But yeah, that would, as hilarious as that would be, and as amazing that would be, that's probably not going to happen. So. Yeah, I think I'm personally fine with it going back to its roots and kind of maybe a Kanto that's some people have been rumoring is going to be you play as Red's son or grandson. I forget which one, either son or grandson of Red, and your rival is actually Blue's grandson or son, whichever one it was. So I think that could be cool, just seeing how everything changed, seeing how everything looks in the new graphics engine and stuff like that. It could be cool. And I definitely want to go back and play Red or Blue or Yellow or whichever one, because I haven't played those. And if they do a remake, I'm going to definitely go back and play through those so I can see how much has changed and evolved throughout the series' entire lifespan.
Yeah. Just to quickly fix what you said, there's a rumor, right? It's just a rumor, but yeah, like we were saying, the rumor is that Blue's kids are the protagonists, right? And Red's kids or kid is your rival. I think you got the names reversed, which is confusing because they look like Ash and Gary, and then now you're gonna be Gary's kids, but you're basically the position of Red. It's a whole mess, and it's still a rumor, so it may not even be real, right? So yeah, just. I felt like I had to correct you. Sorry. Awkward silence.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, but I would love it I don't like the design of that character from that rumor though. Like I don't like the design of the male character, but I like the idea of this being a few years in the future of Red and Blue being full adults already, right, and seeing how their lives sort of ended up afterwards. That's gonna be really cool. And seeing Kanto in a more progressive state, where there's more technology, right? More Pokemon have been discovered. Even if you don't see those Pokemon in Kanto, just them being referenced is gonna be really cool, and I'm excited about that possibility.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and on top of that, like I think the game's gonna be pretty. I mean, it may not be open world, super 4K, 68 frames per second, but like it's at least gonna look better than Sun and Moon, right? And
Right.
not be
I
at
think it will hit
240p.
60 frames.
Yeah,
Oh gosh, yeah.
that's the big deal about the game to me. Like, it's just how it's gonna look. I mean, it should be look so fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, Sun and Moon. I play it in Citra emulator. It looks good at 1440p. Of course, it'll probably be 1080p here on the Switch, but even at 1080p, like it looks good. Of course, you can still tell like, this is a 3DS game, the low quality textures. But I can see like if it had even if it was just like Sun and Moon's engine with higher resolution textures, maybe more effects work, better lighting, 60 frames per second, it could look like a pretty good game. I think it'll be a little bit more than that. I think they'll go a little bit farther, but even if they just do that, I think it could look good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, we've seen the 3D models for Pokemon, right? It seems like they kind of future-proof them. They can be upscaled to 4K and still look amazing, right? So I feel like, Game Freak, we're thinking ahead, when they were designing all these things. Now, we've heard that Game Freak wasn't sure about the Switch. They're actually sort of thinking that maybe it would fail. And, people have sort of interpreted from that information that maybe they weren't getting ready for a Switch game that soon on. But if you think about it, right, like Game Freak and Pokemon Company always have inside information because they work with Nintendo, right, on what they're doing with their hardware. So, they're already thinking, they're getting prepared for the next system, right? Like they know there's going to be new hardware. They've been developing on the 3DS forever. So like this idea that they weren't ever even thinking about moving on to newer hardware in the future, I don't think that's the case. Like they, even if they didn't know that the Switch would be the platform where they would put their main games, they were still thinking that sooner or later that they're gonna have a hardware update, and they're gonna, I think it's one of the reasons why
Right.
the Pokemon models look the way they do, and why they still look good even at 4K.
Yeah, my only thing is like I'd be fine with this game looking like that. If the next game that's actual true Generation 8 looks more like Sun and Moon, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be disappointed, I'm gonna be upset. If I really hope they switch to something way more graphically demanding. We heard all those rumors about them using Unreal Engine 4 and Blender and different things like that. Maybe that's for the next game. Maybe it wasn't true at all. Maybe those were wrong. But maybe it's for the next game. I just hope that it's not like they're going to be like, oh, people liked, this art style on the Switch. We'll just keep going with it. No, don't do that. Like, it's fine for because it's a remake. It's fine. And just so they can get something on 2018. I get that. It takes a while to make these big new graphically demanding games, but they didn't quite think they were going to jump this big graphically, so they were prepared for it. I understand that, but if their next game comes out and it looks like what we're assuming this is going to look like, I'm not going to be happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're gonna find out really soon, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Really soon. Hopefully this week soon,
Hopefully,
and not
yeah.
E3 soon. But I mean, like,
They be trolling us. It's coming out 2020.
oof. When they said later, they didn't mean 2019 after all. That would be a huge. I'd just be upset. But that's not happening, guys. Don't worry. I mean, it may not come out this year. That isn't confirmed yet. So let's keep that in mind. But 2020 is not when.
I think it's still coming out before the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah. So then, let's get into some Smash rumors. Well, I mean, I guess first, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see what's going on. Sal is saying he wouldn't mind if they were to use graphics from Pokken. Yeah, I think Pokken looks pretty good. I just think it needs a bit of a higher resolution, at least with the textures and stuff. But yeah, I love the style
True.
of Poke, and it looks amazing. Zach is back wants a fossil fighter design.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. I guess part of it, I guess his context is important. Well, it's a mystery for another time. So then, let's get into this. So Emily Rogers had some things to say. I'm gonna read it for you guys. I know this is coming from, I believe, Reset Era. So she was saying Smash Bros. Roster is very good. I'm happy with it. I'm not expecting many, if any, cuts. People kept telling me, well, duh, every Smash Bros. Game is better than the previous roster. Well, sure, but every Smash Bros. Game has had a bunch of cuts. Nintendo wants Switch's Smash Bros. To be the ultimate Smash Bros. Game. Yes, the additions to the Smash Bros. Roster will make people jump out of their seats. I'm excited, not going to spoil, but trust me on this, you'll be happy with this roster. So that's, obviously there's not much there that's super tangible and objective, but she does say, she's suggesting there's going to be little to no cuts. And that is interesting. I think considering that, does that mean we're going to be getting all the DLC characters? I was thinking that we wouldn't get all the DLC characters, but now, after hearing that, assuming she's right, that's pretty cool. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we're going to get the whole roster on top of new characters, or are there going to be any cuts?
I feel like some of the third parties, I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm paranoid because all the other games got cuts, but I feel like that some of the third parties, their return ability, I'll call it, is kind of shaky. Like Cloud, I don't know if Cloud will come back. Bayonetta, will she come back? People kind of hate on her all the time. So, just like some characters, just like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I gotta wonder if she means no cuts from the original roster.
Right.
I mean, but to say that you're gonna have a lineup that's gonna please everybody, you're gonna have to have a lot of characters because that's a lot of people.
You're gonna have to have every character. Need to have every character in existence to be able to please everyone, right?
That's the thing.
Everything. But then people might complain that there's too many, that they can't navigate the menu.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, I think one easy way they could maybe simplify the menu is maybe go by like series, like the mushroom, you go to the Mario characters, or the Fox symbol, you go to Falco. But maybe they wouldn't do that because some of the franchises are too small to really group them like that. But
you got one person there. You click on the button, you're like, oh, it's my favorite series. How many people do they have in here? One.
Yeah. But there are other fighting games that have 100 characters or so, right? And they can pull it off. It's just...
I'm thinking about Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which had a pretty good big but solid roster.
Yeah. I've played a few Mortal Kombat games that just kind of obscene. Heck, I remember Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi games 2 and 3. They had every... You thought the name was long. Wait till you see the roster list. It's a book. Every character that you could think of is in that game. Pretty much. They even have characters, some of the no-name characters that are in Dragon Ball, right? That are just henchmen. They have henchmen.
Old lady on side of the street. Oh, here you go.
The only one they never put in was Farmer with Shotgun. So
how could you?
Yeah.
How could you not include Farmer with a Shotgun? That sounds like the best character.
Yeah, Farmer with Shotgun, he's just right. He fought Nappa. Yeah. Not Nappa, Raditz. And he lasted for 1 second. So, not many people could say that. But I'm sure they'll find a way to handle it. If having too many characters on screen for the menu thing is your only concern, I think that's a good thing. So,
right.
Yeah. But I guess, because it's always fun to talk about, roster and such. Mars, how about you? Do you have any, are there any characters that you sort of really want to be in the Smash Brothers that aren't there yet?
Well, no, not yet. As long as Ness is in there, I'm fine. Yeah, go ahead and hate me.
I'm happy with Ness. Yeah, I don't want him to leave.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever I don't know if I've ever played as Ness in the Wii U version. I'm not sure.
Really, you never played as Ness? It took me a moment to
Not,
like
at least not
process
in
that.
not in. I don't think I may not have played as him in Smash 4.
Don't you experiment? It's not like you have to pay to play
No,
him.
I
This isn't
don't.
EA, bro.
I
Like
don't experiment. Oh,
never. In all of your years, you just
I
who's
do.
this guy with the bat and the red cap that shoots
I know
electricity
who Ness
and
is.
fire? Like,
No, I used to play as him in Brawl. I just don't think I ever cared
Oh.
about him that much in the Wii U one.
oh well, I mean, from what
I-
I've played, it's pretty similar. So
I just didn't care. I don't know. I had Toon Link and I was just like, what other characters? What is this?
Yeah, that's how I'm like you. I get stuck on a character, I'm good.
We need other characters in the roster. What? No. So, but now, as far as me, like what characters I would want, the first thing comes to mind is Banjo and Kazooie. Just get them in there, please, please, just please. Banjo Kazooie and Rex and Pyra. Like those are the two. Like I feel like they have to be in there. Like they have to be eventually, at least. Like those are the ones I'm just like, if they don't get in, I would be a little upset.
yeah, I kind of I would like to see Banjo. I wouldn't be upset if they didn't have him, but I would like to see Banjo Kazooie. Like
So good.
they would be a great fit. And there's obviously there's a whole rare local, like because Nintendo doesn't own the rights to Banjo Kazooie, but Microsoft has expressed that they'd be willing to, and people have been talking about it. I
Right.
think it's not too crazy to think that Banjo Kazooie could be like their big shock, because they always try to have at least one big shocker character, right? So I think Banjo and Kazooie could be like that big shock character. Actually, is there anyone else that we think could be like the shock character that no one's like, no, that'll never happen?
Master Chief. That's exactly what we get in Smash.
Yeah, that'll never happen. Which is why it would fit that that description, right? But I mean, like, we talked about it last podcast. We even came up with a moveset for Master Chief.
Right.
Yeah.
I just kind of a throwback inside podcast joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, legitimate characters that may come in. Goku. Everyone should freak.
Some people be pissed. Some people don't
yeah.
want that sort of influence in the game.
Right.
Yeah. I've made the argument before that he's like been in so many video games and he's such an iconic character that I wouldn't mind it, right? I mean, I literally talked about it in a video once, but like, I'm not gonna. I don't care. The Goku's in so many other games. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it.
Right.
Yeah, but I would like to. I mean, I guess we haven't talked about Ridley, right? Like Ridley's something that everyone's been begging for a really long time,
Right.
and I would
I
like to
think
see
people would
Ridley.
be super hype, but I'm not sure if it'd be extremely shocking. Well, I guess most people don't kind of follow the news and rumors, but for people who do, I mean, he's been heavily rumored as of late. So for me, it wouldn't be super shocking. It'd be hype, but it wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, didn't see that coming, Because
Yeah.
I mean, people are literally seeing that coming. So
Yeah, for sure. Actually, I just saw No Filter suggest Travis Touchdown. His final smash would be the Shake Weight Katana. That would be hilarious, and actually would totally make sense. Like Sakura would be like, "Yep, this makes no sense, which is why it makes perfect sense."
right.
Yeah, that I think would be pretty cool to see. People want Waluigi.
Yeah.
He could throw roses at people, rackets at people, maybe a bowling ball,
He's in
soccer
like all the
ball,
sports games. So
basketball.
You could just be the sports character. I don't think we really have anybody like that. And the closest we have is the villager dropping a bowling ball on your head. So, which is
Yeah.
weird because I don't think the villager ever plays bowling, as far as none of the games I've played.
Yeah. What if they created a new Waluigi game called Waluigi Wave Racer? Or it's Wave Racer. They bring back Wave Race, but it's also a Waluigi dating sim combined hybrid. No, I'm just
Nintendo doesn't have any
random
dating
weird idea, guys. I know. Yeah.
sims. I mean, the way he looks in Mario Tennis Aces, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm trying. So we got Waluigi, Ridley.
Sabbath 64 is saying the Happy Mask Salesman.
Oh,
Oh,
that would be creepy.
that would be.
Or Tingle. Oh, no. Get that
Also
off my
creepy.
Smash.
I think they should be assist trophies. Tingle's already an assist trophy, actually.
Oh, yeah, he is. But
Yeah.
Happy Mask Salesman, like, he's awesome. And he should be in Smash, at least in some form.
Yeah.
I think he has a trophy or something.
Oh, he's
probably.
definitely got to be a trophy already.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah.
But he's got to come in and just be like, "You've met with the tab of fate, haven't you?" And then just wreck the stage for no reason.
Yeah. So then, yeah, I can't. I mean, let me think. I'm trying to like think of characters that Ice Climbers definitely needs to be there. Wolf could also make a comeback, right? Yep, that's it. Simon Belmont, we've heard that rumored. I think that makes sense, having some Konami representation for Castlevania. That would be cool. Actually, I brought it up earlier. What if they had a wave? It's not a character. I don't know what character they would use, but I think they should have a wave race stage.
I'll be with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
They had everything else.
Yeah, that'd be.
They'll announce that right after they reveal a new Rave Voice at E3. Like,
That
oh,
would
and by
be
the way, this
dope.
is Dash.
That would be so cool. I would love that. Actually, yeah.
I've been missing my wave race.
Yeah.
I've never played Rave Race, but I'm on the hype train because I hear it's really good.
More racing games for the Switch.
I just saw the hype train and I was like, I don't know about this, but I'm gonna jump on because everyone else is.
Yeah. So then, let's what was I gonna say? Are we ready to move on? Yeah, let's talk about the big topic here. But let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Hey Aroshan, Vegeta-san saying bringing Pokemon Trainer back. Actually, yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh,
Yeah, a lot of people like Pokemon Trainer.
I played
Yeah,
this
I
team in
miss
Brawl.
Pokemon Trainer. Yeah.
Midna and Wolflink for Smash. That's what Sabbath 64 is
Oh
saying.
yeah, Wolf Link will also be a good one. Like, you guys come in with good ideas. Like, my brain just zapped right now.
Right.
Just
I don't know if
zapped.
I've told this story on the podcast, but back in the day when Brawl was coming out, there was a big rumor, at least among like my community, before the internet, was generally too much of a thing, at least for me. Like, everyone thought Brawl had Wolflink in it, so we were all like, how do we unlock Wolflink? We have to do we just found, everyone was like, it was kind of like the Pokemon thing, like how you catch Pokemon you can't actually catch. But it was like for Brawl, it was just like, how do you get Wolflink into the game? It's just like all these crazy theories, like you gotta press A B start plus minus, and then spin the controller around and play with Twilight Princess Link against Ganon, and if you win, you get Wolflink. It's like all this crazy stuff, like people would say, and of course it didn't work. He wasn't in the game.
Nah. Oh god. I'm sorry. I'm just tired, guys. I'm just tired. But are we ready to move on to N64 Classic rumor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, my favorite.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just kind of like thrown off right now. I want to get to the main topic. So, N64 Classic. Yeah, there was a trademark that came out for the N64 not too long ago, and then last year was a trademark that came out for N64 controller. And this has all led people to believe that N64 Classic is on the way, on top of the fact that we got an NES Classic, then we get an SNES Classic the year afterwards. So then maybe we're going to get an N64 Classic this year. And that is really exciting. So then, what kind of games... Well, one, do you guys agree with me that there's a good chance we can get N64 Classic this year, or at least soonish?
I say yes because one, there's money to be made, and that's what it's all about. Two, because they brought back the NES Classic. Three, because they restocked the SNES Classic. So the progression leads to the N64 Classic.
Yeah, and it also kind of adds up when you consider that Virtual Console is not really a thing right now. And if Virtual Console was a thing right now, it would kind of... The Virtual Console and the Classic editions, while I think they could create an environment where they could both coexist, I think it's easier to just focus on one and worry about the other later. And since we haven't, all we're getting are these NES online packages that are coming with Nintendo's online service for now. It makes sense that we could be getting a classic editions instead, at least for the time being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's going to happen, but I also think Zach is back. Just asked the most important question of all about this, and that is, would WarWare be included? That is the best. That is the most important question in my mind about this thing.
So I've thought about this, and I don't know. I want it to be in there so badly, so that's the thing. Like, it makes me really biased because it's hard to be objective about this because some of the best. There are, I wouldn't say a big chunk of the quality games that were on the N64 were all made by Rare, like GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Jet Force Gemini, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. I like Donkey Kong 64, Diddy Kong Racing, Killer Instinct. There are some really good games that came out from Perfect Dark. Rare is Perfect Dark in my name, but there are some really good games, and definitely not all of them. That's for sure. Oh, Conker's Bad Fur Day is another one. There's some really good games that I know a lot of people want that they loved on the N64. So, but there's no way we're gonna get all those games. In fact, I don't think the games I listed, that's already a high number. We may not even the number that I think of N64 games I think we're gonna get is also gonna be a lot lower than the previous two systems.
Ooh.
Because they take more work, I guess, right? They're 3D games, right? There's more to them. The NES Classic had 30 games, and then the SNES Classic had 20. Was it 20 or 25?
20.
Maybe 4?
Because it had that Star Fox 2, which kind of threw it off. But I'm like you, Andrea, when you said that Nintendo 64 is your heyday. That's me. So I think the first 15 games that came out with the 64, I bought them all, and I didn't care if they were good or bad. I was just so excited about the 64. So I'm hoping they got to find a way to put at least 30 games on there.
That's the thing, man. The 30 games.
It was 21, by the way, for the SNES.
They did move down quite a bit. I could see them go down to 10.
Don't know how much that was.
Which would suck because there are
10,
you said
10 rare games.
Please, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. My other question also is are we gonna have to play them in 480p, or are they gonna upscale them to at least 720 or 1080p?
I feel like the standard has to be 1080p because that's what the other two are at, right?
Right. The only thing is those chips, they could be the crappiest GPU and CPU ever in the universe, and it will run SNES at 1080p. It's how because emulating games, it takes quite a lot of horsepower. So I'm just wondering, maybe their emulators, maybe they can make an emulator since they know their tech better than everyone. Since they know they have the actual ability to manipulate the software itself down to the coding level. Maybe they can get it to run better. But I mean, when I go to emulate games, even on games like the 3DS, you think, 3DS game, I have a PC capable of 1440p 60 FPS with modern games. You think, you're going to go over there in 3DS game, you're just going to destroy that emulation, but you don't. You run into hitches and glitches and frame rate issues and stuff. So it's just I don't know how much this is going to cost, first off. I don't know if we're going to see it in 1080p. I don't know how well the emulation is. It's emulating past the SNES, past the 8-bit and 16-bit era is just a whole nother beast. So I don't know, but I mean, this is Nintendo though. They may be able to pull it off since it's their own. As I said, they can do this better than anyone else. They have more tools than anyone else. They have the budget, and they can do things on the coding level in the actual games themselves instead of just being we're stuck with the software how it is. So I think maybe they could do a better job than other emulators and stuff.
Yeah, they have to find a way because 10 games. I don't know if I can buy it as much as I love the 64.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It's there's no way it's gonna have every game I want. There's no way.
I tell you
There's
what,
just
if they're
no
in
way.
40p, I ain't buying it.
No, I feel like can we, at least for the sake of my own sanity, can we just assume it's gonna be 1080p, right?
Right.
Like I don't think it could be that much harder. Like we even saw like some modded, you know, NES classics running N64 games really badly, like at
Right.
5 to 10 frames per second, but still, you know, emulating them like that. So I imagine then if Nintendo does some fine tuning, maybe they would have to use a different motherboard or chipset, right? But I don't see it being expensive to do. I don't see it how it's, I don't see it being hard for them. If they can make the Switch
Right.
for $300, I'm sure they can make a non-portable N64, like, you know, run games at 1080p. I just,
Right.
that's got to be pretty easy.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised if it cost $100 though, because they've been going up. 60 for the NES, 80 for the SNES. I could see $100 for the N64.
$100, 4 controllers.
Oof.
At least 2.
Yeah, at least 2. I mean, because that was the game, that was the system. You know, it had the 4 ports, so you know, that was for your friends. So very big.
Yeah.
So can we I have my dream version of an N64 Classic, and then I have my more realistic version of an N64 Classic in my head. So which one do you guys want to hear first? And then you guys can give me both of your dream and then realistic as well. All right,
I'd like to hear Dream first.
Okay, so Dream N64 Classic. This is the one that I don't think will happen, but this is what I want. Right, so I want the N64 Classic. I think $99.99 is fair, right? $100. I think it'll come with about 30 games, right? And it's gonna be hard to list them all off like this, but most of the rare games. So Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, Perfect Dark, Killer Instinct, Jet Force Gemini, GoldenEye, Killer Instinct, Conker's Bad Fur Day, and even Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is rated M, right? Which is something that also, even if like then Rare was like, yeah, sure, have all of our games, because Conker's Bad Fur Day is rated M, that would make it harder to be on the system. For my realistic N64 Classic, but on my Dream N64 Classic, no, it's all there. Every single awesome rare game is there. But we're also gonna get, of course, Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Donkey Kong 64, Wave Race, F-Zero X. We're gonna get Resident Evil. You know, we're gonna get Turok and Turok 2, like Ogre Battle, like Mario Kart, all the Mario parties. Okay, man, we don't need all the Mario parties. Even for my Dream one, we don't need all the Mario parties. Just Mario Party 2, and what else? Paper Mario. Like I'm missing games. Kirby, Crystal Shards. Here's one. The Animal Crossing game that only came out in Japan. Oh, also the 64DD version of F-Zero, so you get the track editor as well. So yeah, I think that would be really cool. But since this is my dream, let's also include the 3D beta version of Mother 3. Yeah, that canned project. I'm sure I'm missing a couple games because there's so many of them. Yeah. But now let me do my realistic one. I think there'll be 15. Oh wait, I didn't finish my dream one. It's all gonna be 4. It's gonna come with 4 controllers and online play. Yeah. And 1080p.
Definitely not happening.
Now my realistic one, $120. It's gonna be a little more expensive this time, but it will come with 13 games. It's gonna come with 13 games. Okay. One of these 13 games is going to be that Animal Crossing that came out only on 64 in Japan. It's going to come out in America as well. They also will include the revamped F-Zero that was for the 64DD, which came with a track editor. That will also be in the game. Okay. That will also come with Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. So that's 5 games, right? We're going to get Mario Kart. That's 6. We're going to get F-Zero. That's 7. We are going to get one rare game, and that's going to be Banjo-Kazooie. Right, that puts us at 8. Right, I think we're going to get Paper Mario. I think we're going to get Pokemon Stadium 1. Okay, that's 10 games. What else should we have? I think we're going to get the one which Resident Evil was it? I think it was Resident Evil 2. That's going to come. That puts us at 11. What am I missing? Star Fox 64 is going to be there. It puts us at 12. All right, did I already say Kirby?
On your dream, you said it.
On my dream, I did. Kirby's gonna be there as well, especially for the mini games. So I mentioned Mario Kart, F-Zero, and Wave Race as well. Did I not? I think it did.
Thanks.
Oh wait, I have to change this. Damn, one of those games won't make it because Smash Bros has to be there as well.
Oh yeah, that has to be there.
You know what? 14.
14 games.
Nintendo's gonna throw us a bone. Smash Bros is gonna be there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if there's one other game that you guys realize that needs to be there, let's just bump it up to 15 because this is speculation anyway, and who's gonna hold me to it?
Right.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I'm not gonna do dreams because I feel like you did so many games. There's no way I could top your dream predictions.
You could if you said that it comes with DLC.
Yeah, there you go. But for me, okay, I'm gonna say my realistic ones here. For me, it's gotta be, I don't know, it's gotta be 20 games or close. I'm gonna say 18 games. 18 games. All right, so we're gonna have Smash. Obviously, we're gonna Smash. Mario 64, that's a given. Ocarina of Time, that's a given. Majora's Mask, that's probably gonna get in there. F-Zero, Animal Crossing, GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie. I don't know if Banjo-Tooie would be in there, but I'm gonna throw that on there. Let's see, what are the rare games? Perfect Dark. It's 10. Oof. I'm kind of forgetting which games you've mentioned, which games I've mentioned at this point. So
it's too many games. Don't worry about it.
So many games. But yeah, I think 18 games. Put in 8 other amazing games from there on there. I don't think Conker's Bad Fur Day is going to be in there just because I feel like you'd have to instantly like lock it out because I feel like a lot of the market is parents buying them for their kids, being like, oh, my kids should experience all these amazing things that I experienced when I was young.
Oh, but it has Conker's Bad Fur Day with furries and boobs. No, can't do that.
Yeah, like, so not do that. So, unless they had some kind of, like, instant parental controls where you'd, like, undo it or something, I feel like, that's too much. Like, they can't be on there.
I just realized I need to correct what I said earlier. There was one game I didn't mention. Savage just reminded me of it. Then Brandon, you mentioned it too. GoldenEye. So I said Banjo-Kazooie. But I meant for my realistic one, right? That Banjo-Kazooie would be the one rare game. No, there's gonna be 2. GoldenEye's gonna be one. It's gonna be the other one. Yeah. I
don't know if Banjo-Tooie would make it in, unfortunately, because I've never played. That's the one I want to play because I never played it. I only played Banjo 1. I want to play the second one.
Well, I mean, if Banjo-Kazooie is also a character in Smash Bros., maybe they'll announce the N64 Classic. It's like, hey, look. You're going to get Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie on the N64 Classic, and you get Banjo and Kazooie in Smash. That would be a Banjo and Kazooie dream. But but you know, Banjo-Kazooie is going to stay with Microsoft. It's going to be bad, so it doesn't matter.
Oof. No. They for some reason they put nuts and bolts on here. Even though it's not an N64 game, they're just like, yep, gotta put nuts and bolts on there. It's still the whole series, might as well.
No, that'll lower the value of the package of the N64
instantly.
Classic. Yeah.
Instantly.
So what about you, Mars? What kind of games do you want to see on the N64 Classic?
Well, I'm gonna go through like a sentimental list, but I'll try to break it up to say what can be on both. Wave Race 64, Pilot Wings 64. I would like to see. Very tough game. Blast Corps 64. Of course, Mario Kart 64, my favorite franchise. Killer Instinct Gold would be nice. Star Fox, of course. I actually played a lot of Bomberman. Big game for me. 007, of course. F-Zero, of course. Ocarina of Time, of course. But WCW versus NWO World Tour. Played a ton of that game. NBA Hang Time, Jet Force Gemini, Smash. That's about it for me.
I like that sports game you included there.
The Mario Party too. Yeah, Mario Party.
Yeah. So I guess the one thing that excites me about this, right, is that like there's so many multiplayer games. There are so many, and I wonder. Obviously, I feel like they're gonna sell the controllers separately. They did that for other systems as well. But like, how do you guys think it'll all kind of come together? Because like you have, there's gonna be multiplayer, right? Like there's gonna be multiplayer. How do you think the controllers are gonna feel? Like
They can't be. They have to be because you know how they have the three like prongs sticking out.
Yeah.
They almost have to be exactly what they were because you can't do that many. Your hands would be too big for it. I think for most people. So
Right.
the controllers have to be standard.
That's another thing though, because the close controller is so much bigger
Yeah.
than the NES and SNES controllers. Like they're several times bigger. It's not just like a little bit. They are several times bigger. What if they have like an N64 redesign?
Yeah.
They can't do that for all the aliens with 3 arms that used to play the N64, man. Can't alienate those guys. Oh, can't alienate the aliens, man. It's just not okay.
I'm personally, I didn't even consider it or beforehand. Like I didn't consider like the sizing of it because I do think it's gonna be a little weird. But like I at least hope that the Joy-Con, not the Joy-Con, the analog stick, right? That little the joystick will be fixed because that thing was really painful to use. Like I don't know if for you guys, but like whenever I would press it, like it would just stab my thumbs. Like it was painful. And like when you for Mario 64 when you do the spinning thing, you build calluses doing that. So like I hope that they like steal like the control stick from like the GameCube or something and just slap it on there instead. I feel like it would just feel better.
Yeah, because it wasn't painful for me, but that middle joy piece got very loose after a while.
Yeah, mine did
really
too.
did.
It just felt like
all
it
of ours
would
did.
die.
All of ours did. It would like dangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'd have to give you gloves to go with it if they do Mario Party. Otherwise, people are gonna sue them again.
Oh my god, that's true. Would it be
Just
hilarious?
put rubber over the top. Just slap some rubber over the top of that thing. You could.
What if they come out with the controllers and each controller has a little thing attached to it like a keychain, except it's like a glove. Like control stick glove. That'd be hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think they could probably manage to make the N64 controller at least a little smaller.
Yeah.
They can get away with that. And they don't have to have like a rumble. Yeah. Oh, what if the controllers have built-in rumble? That'd be nice.
They better have built-in rumble, and I mean they don't need the save pack anymore because you have the built-in saves.
Man,
but
this is getting pretty expensive. Like, cause it's so much. The N64 is so much more sophisticated than the Super Nintendo and the NES, right? Like, cause the controllers are bigger. That's one thing. It's gonna require 4 players, right, for a lot of games. And Rumble, if you don't have Rumble, people are gonna be upset. I'm gonna be upset if there's no Rumble.
I won't because I never played the game with Rumble because my Rumble packs were always out of batteries.
Actually,
Star Fox 64 without the Rumble.
Just man, do you think they would forgo that?
No, I'm just kidding.
Well, they might though. When I think about it, they might.
I feel like they should though. Obvious. You know, a game I think we all forgot. I think nobody did. Anybody mention Donkey Kong 64? Because I don't think anybody mentioned that.
I might have mentioned it, but I didn't.
You mentioned it.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Because I was like, that's just evil if we didn't mention
it. Right, but the Rare did develop it, so that creates confusion.
Right. Is that a Rare game? Is it not? It's also a Nintendo IP.
Yeah,
Rare,
it's like that's that middle ground that makes it so weird. Yeah.
I guess Banjo-Kazooie. Oh, never mind. I was about to say something really dumb. Never mind.
I mean, Donkey Kong 64 and Banjo-Kazooie are so similar. They're so similar. It's like the same style of game, just like different worlds, different atmosphere.
Also, another game I remembered is Spider-Man on the N64. That game was awesome.
I know which one we could have. Superman.
No.
No, thanks. The official worst game of all time, Superman 64, at least for console games. Yeah. I remember playing that game. I was so young.
I the bullet.
I didn't even think it was bad. I just thought it was weird. I was like, what do you do? How do you get past this level? All you do is fly around and do nothing. Like, that's all I remember. I guess I do remember it being like hard to control. And I guess that was kind of a big issue with the game, right? Like you try to fly, and it was like the beginning of the 3D era, right? So a lot of developers were still trying to figure out how to even move around in 3D space, and they made Superman fly in air, which is full, movement, full range, which probably made things pretty hard for them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I still don't know how they released that game like that. It's just why. Just scrap the idea, man. Just as soon as you figure out it didn't work, why'd you finish the game?
So then, how about you guys tell me one game that you'd be really upset if it did, if it didn't make it?
For me, Mario Kart 64 easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one has to be there. I guess rare games. Banjo-Kazooie isn't on there. I'm upset. Super upset.
I feel like there's a really good chance we might not even get any rare games on it though.
No, that's not. I'm not buying it if there's no rare games, man. That's like half
Would
the
it-
N64's library.
Well,
Oh,
there's
no.
still a lot of good games though.
There it is, but it's just.
I know. I'd be really upset too. Like, I'm personally the one rare game that I really want to play the most is Conker's Bad Fur Day. That's the one I never got to play as a kid.
I never played that one either, but it's just.
That's the one that I'm like I really want to go back and play that. I guess there's a rare replay, right? I could do that if I have an Xbox. Is it available on Steam? Or is it just on Xbox?
It's definitely not available on Steam. It might be available on the Windows Store.
Well, yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, Windows Store maybe, hopefully.
Look. Rare replay. Easy. There. Oh. Oh, it is. It's available on the Microsoft Store. You can play it on PC.
How much is it? How much is it?
$30.
Oof. What does it come with?
A bunch of stuffs and things. Online multiplayer, even 2 to 32 people. That's crazy.
Jesus, they stole my ideas.
It doesn't say how many games it has. It does have Conker's Bad Fur Day though, because it's mature 17 plus and has Conker on the front.
Well, I mean, if it comes with Banjo and Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie, and Jet Force Gemini, and Perfect Dark, and Conker's Bad Fur Day, and Killer Instinct.
All those things. Battletoads.
Oh, Battletoads.
It's a pretty good value.
It comes, I think that looks like Beyond Good and Evil. Is that made by Rare? It looks like that character.
I don't know if it's made by Rare, but no, Beyond Good and Evil? I was thinking of Sin and Punishment. No, Beyond Good and Evil
Maybe that's what it is.
Beyond Good and Evil is Ubisoft, published by Ubisoft. Okay. Yeah.
It looks like that character, so I just thought I haven't played the game, so I might be wrong, but it looks kind of like that.
I don't remember Sin and Punishment being developed by Rare either, though. Well, that's another game that could be on the N64 Classic, because that's a game that didn't come out to the States either.
Mm.
Yeah. Man, there's just so many games.
Yeah, tons of games.
That's the thing. Like, it's going to be so hard to make everyone happy with N64 Classic. Like, I almost want them to, like, have an N64 Classic, but have expansions available as well.
Because, I mean, especially 10 games? All those games?
This is too many. Like, what if they had a rare... What if they did do an expansion sort of thing where... they probably would just go against their whole, like, idea for it. Like, they just want it to be one separate, like, singular product. Maybe we should just get N64 Classic and mod it to have all the games. So people do anyways, right?
Then I'll just play it on my PC.
Yeah. Yeah, but the whole point is to enjoy it as if it's like a real N64, except, you know, better because it's in HD. Oh, well. Whatever it is, I'm sure I'm going to like it, but... Yeah, there's just no way.
It's on a written down note somehow.
Even if they had 30 games on it, it still wouldn't satisfy me because there would be something that I'd be like, I wish I got to play that and it didn't. Maybe I should just get an N64 again because I don't have my N64 anymore. And like,
you can get them at GameStop.
Yeah, just get N64 and collect every single N64 game that I want to play.
They have games
every single one. That will probably cost me over $1,000 though.
Right. The game console itself is pretty cheap. The games was going to be hard.
They're expensive,
they do sell
and some of them are rare and hard to find.
Right.
Yeah.
They sell the normal ones at GameStop, you know, like Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart 64. I think they even sell Donkey Kong 64, like the standards. But like the more out there ones might be hard to find.
Yeah. Well, no, I guess I'm going to cut this podcast a little bit shorter. But guys in the chat, if you guys have any questions or, you know, things I want us to talk about, put it now. Mars, is there anything that just in terms of E3, because I know we were talking about a little bit earlier that you want to talk about, and then I'll fully address the whole point about podcast members after that, because I know you guys are still talking about it.
Yeah, I know y'all gonna be doing the predictions video next week, and I'll be on vacation, but I'll still be watching. But I don't really get into. I'm just not good at predicting. I thought they were gonna hold Smash, and then they didn't. So I'm always wrong. But what I do like is Sony's gonna do this deep dive thing this year. They're gonna go over 4 games, and I'm very interested in what the deep dive is. And something in me says it's gonna be not exactly how the treehouse is, because Sony's gonna put their thing on it, but you can probably set them side by side and see when it comes down to making an outline, the outlines are going to be the same. So I'm very interested to see what the deep dive is, and they're going to go over 4 games. I bet 2 of them should be new announced games, which I don't know, but I think the other 2 might be Spider-Man, and then maybe we haven't heard about Days Gone really outside of the little videos. I'm really interested in that game, so maybe they'll do some gameplay of Days Gone.
I
The
think
new
they
Spider-Man is coming out.
I think they announced the deep dive for the 4 games.
Okay, they have.
Yeah, I think they did.
Okay.
And I think those 2 of the games you mentioned are 2 of those games that are going to be there.
All right, good.
Yeah.
And then so I just want to see what the deep dive is all about. So that's what I think about E3.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see how that works. Maybe it's a better setup, and they'll start doing that moving forward. And it's kind of interesting because that's like what Nintendo is like the first company to really start doing things differently with their E3 sort of strategy, and now you see both Sony and Microsoft are doing different things, right? Like Microsoft's not having their main show at the E3 Expo; they're having it outside the building, across the street. It's interesting how it's all working out, but it's just kind of it kind of goes hand in hand with how the market's changing now. It's not the way it was in the past, right? Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft are sort of moving in their own directions with the way they're making their games, and now with the way they're presenting their games, and then the way they're distributing their games is also changing because you got the cloud and all these different things, and it's changing, guys. This is the future. It really is.
Yeah, one of the main points they brought up too, which I think is very important, especially from a PlayStation standpoint, is they didn't just want to announce a bunch of games and then okay, that's it. Just be ready with the release when they're released, because then after that you get pushbacks, games get delayed, and then you was like, remember E3 22 years ago when y'all was talking about this game that never came out? So I think Sony wants to get away from just announcing a bunch of games and then they'll come out when they come out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it's better for them to control their game announcements. I think it makes sense that way. When you let the media sort of really influence them too much, it kind of can sort of mess up their messaging. I mean, look what happened with the Xbox One, right? When they presented at E3 and it was a huge backlash. And I feel like if Microsoft had it presented in a more controlled fashion, maybe they would have been able to avoid some of that backlash a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. So then, it's interesting. Now, there's some things that everyone's in chat sort of bring up, so we're going to get to that in a moment. But you guys have asked me repeatedly, and I did address it earlier, but I noticed some people still sort of asking questions, some people making incorrect assumptions, so I'm going to try and clear it one more time. So for everyone who's listening, anyone who asks, spread the word, right? But I don't want to make this a big public thing, but, you guys are watching, so I'm going to tell you. Right, as I said earlier, me and Will were having disagreements, a lot of things, and I'm not talking about video game opinions. That has nothing to do with I like disagreements during the podcast. It was more about how we were working together, and that was creating a toxic environment, and that was the problem. Okay, so we discussed it, and I felt that maybe we should take a break. Will interpreted that differently. That's just kind of, we just disagreed. So he's still cool. We're still friends. And make sure to check out his channel. And that's the deal. I have no problems with disagreements. That is not the problem at all. Opinions, when people have different opinions, that's super cool. So yeah, unfortunately, that's just the way it works sometimes, guys. That we have to move in a slightly different direction. I hope you guys understand. And again, Will has his own channel. Make sure to check him out. All right. So yeah, spread the word. That way we don't have to sort of continually to bring this up again. So yeah. Should we check out on the chat now and see what you guys are saying? Jared is saying it doesn't feel right to release more consoles. Technology needs to develop more.
I disagree.
Yeah, I mean, like, from the consumer perspective, I guess I see what you're saying, though, right? Because you don't want more systems to come out. You want to be happy with what you have, but it's also one of those things where, like, companies like, nope, we want to make more money, so we're going to release a new and improved thing to compel you to waste more money, right?
Right. I really do think, just real quick, I think I touched on it before, but I really do think having a new CPU, having a better CPU in systems is really going to do a lot for just com computable kind of things, more destructible environments, more open world games that are actually 60 frames per second, more interactive stuff. Because a lot of games these days, like the ones that are really big graphics, they're kind of just like not much is interactable. It's not like Breath of the Wild where there's physics to everything and stuff like that. It's just kind of like you're running around and sometimes it's even so far to the point where like you walk on water and there's no ripples in the puddles. Like it can get pretty bad. Like not even, but it's not even just graphics. It's gameplay as well. Different physics based things that just would be a lot better, and there's be a lot more of them if we did upgrade to a better CPU and 60 frames per second and open world games. I think would be a big jump. So I just wanted to say that real quick. I do think there's some technology that you could put in that would make them a lot better.
Yeah, no, I see that. And I mean, the way they are doing things now, right? At least with Sony's and Microsoft's, and like when they brought out the PS4 and the Xbox One, like the 360 and the PS3 were still relevant for 2 or 3 more years, right? In fact, the PS3 is still getting some games, like just random like third-party games, but still getting some games. In 2018, that thing came out in 2006. It's 12 years.
Yeah, I remember people being annoyed that 360 and PlayStation 3 were still getting games for so long.
Yeah, it was holding back the graphics on the they looked pretty bad in comparison to what modern Xbox One, PlayStation 4 games look. So I understand.
Yeah.
No Filter Nintendo Podcast asks, what third-party Switch game are we most hyped for this E3, announced or unannounced? I am probably most hyped to see more of Anthem, which was announced last year during Xbox thing. It's not an Xbox exclusive. I'm going to get it on my PC, but it's like this big open world game where you're in a kind of an almost Xenoblade Chronicles X type mech flying around shooting things. There's giant bees. It's kind of like if Xenoblade Chronicles X was like a real-time shooter MMO. That's how it would be.
That sounds.
And it's like
epic.
super beautiful. There's like all kinds of different physics-based stuff that can happen. Storms that can just start up, and you're literally seeing this like gigantic, like ridiculous monsoon. You're just like, oh well, gotta go in and see what's up.
It's called
Anthem. Like, yeah, Anthem. It's really cool. You guys should watch the trailer if you haven't seen it.
Has it been announced for Switch officially?
No. It's probably not coming to the Switch, but
you want it to be.
I don't know if I wanted the Switch. I don't know. Third-party games are just not too big on the Switch, so I kind of went for just PC or just games in general.
You're the reason we don't get third parties, Brandon.
I won't buy them on the Switch. I'm sorry. I'm gonna buy them on my PC.
Well, if you don't, you take advantage of the portability. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
I'm just not a portable gamer. I understand there's a big market for them, and third-party games on the Switch. So when I see a third-party come to the Switch, I'm happy, but I'm just not gonna buy it.
What if it had HD rumble and gyro aiming as well? Would you think twice? Would you think twice about it?
I would, especially if they released like a 4K dock and I could still play it with good graphics and stuff.
Okay. Mars, is there a particular third-party game that you hope is announced for the Switch, or that already is that you want to see more of at E3?
I think I've seen enough of it, but I'm still gonna say Octo Travel Path.
Yeah.
Octopath Traveler.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Oh gosh, I didn't even consider that as a third-party game for some reason, but
I'm ready for it, baby.
Damn, yeah, that's gonna be good.
I think Nintendo is co-publishing it with Square Enix.
Yeah, I believe so. So that's I like barely even considered that a third-party game in my mind, but now that's technically a third-party game. So
yeah,
that might trump Anthem for me, but I'm not sure. I don't know. They're close, man. They're just so different games. I don't think you can really put one above the other at this point.
No, yeah, this is not about which one is better. It's just about, particular games they're interested in. So
Right.
one for me that's unannounced, for the Switch at least, is Beyond Good and Evil 2. I want that to come to
That's
the
a good one.
Nintendo Switch. I don't think it's technically specified where that game is coming from,
Right, it's not. The
but
consoles are not announced.
before Beyond Good and Evil was even, announced at all, it was rumored that Beyond Good and Evil 2 would be coming to the NX, but when it was still
Right.
called the NX. And then Beyond Good and Evil turned out to be real, but we still haven't gotten any confirmation when the game's coming out. People sort of assume there's no way it's coming on the Switch because the tech demo they showed off looked really impressive, right? But
Right.
I feel like that
I think it could come
the
to
Switch can run games that are graphically intensive, just
Yeah.
lower specs, like lower frame rate, lower resolution.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible, and Ubisoft has a great relationship with Nintendo. And again, it was rumored a long time ago, and then the rumor turned out to be at least partially true because Beyond Good and Evil 2 was real, right? So there's that to consider. Yeah, but I hope it comes. I would love to see it on Switch, right? Regardless, I'm going to be excited for it either way, but I would like to see it on Switch. So yeah.
Huh?
Let's see.
Hmm.
Jared is saying that Nintendo, Microsoft are the two he does, not Sony. Okay.
I like Sony.
I'm Nintendo and I guess Sony as well now. I would be all three if I had the money and time. So that's really comes down to it. Nintendo first and always. I guess Sony would be second, and then Microsoft. But I mean, like, I want that rare replay, So that's an example. Vegeta's saying he loves Nintendo, but there's so little good titles to buy for Switch. I mean, if you had a Wii U and you played almost every game on Wii U, I can see what you're saying. But I think the second half of 2018 is going to be pretty good. So,
I don't
E3 man.
agree that there's no games. There are little.
Well,
good
there's a lot
games
of
on
there's a lot of
Switch.
games. There's just a lot of those games are available on other systems already.
Right.
So
There's
if
just a
you
lot of good exclusives too. I don't know. I mean, unless you bought every game in 2017 somehow, I
on
feel like
every
there's
system,
games
yeah,
like the games you buy on the Switch.
there's a lot of games. It's just there are a lot of games.
My backlog, man. I gotta buy some more games. Like, I don't know. Unless you're somebody who can play like every games that comes out, I feel like there's some games you haven't bought. Like for most people, ain't no way you bought every Switch game and played it in 2017.
Bro,
Most people.
it's tough. Me and Brandon were kind of talking about this earlier. I ain't gonna lie, I bought most of the games that have come out because since the Switch has come out, and I got a good backlog, and I play my I finally beat Kirby. It's much easiest game as it is, and then I get stuck on like Splatoon. But now I'm about to working on Donkey Kong because I didn't get that for the Wii U, so I'm working on Donkey Kong.
Right.
And after that, Mario Tennis Aces is coming out, so I'm gonna have to work on that. I mean, and then the Auto Travel Pass is gonna come out, so
Right.
it's tough.
Yeah, there's just too many games. So there's a lot of games that still haven't gone on Switch. Dude, I hadn't even played the Sushi Strikers demo. It's been out for a few days, and apparently you can download the Mario Tennis thing as well. Mario Tennis Aces.
Yeah.
Like, I completely forgot about them, and those are games you don't even have to buy, right? Because they're demos. So, I'm just kind of like behind. I still haven't gotten Bayonetta 1 or 2. I still haven't gotten Fire Emblem Warriors. I'm still haven't gotten Kirby. I don't plan on getting Kirby though. Unless they drop the price to $10.
So they've done Mario and Rabbids, man. I want to get
Oh
that.
my
Especially
god,
the
yeah,
DK.
and the
The
DK DLC, yeah.
looks so good.
Yeah, it really does. That's something that looks...
They got that Donkey Kong 64 music in there, man.
Yeah,
man.
I kind of really want it now.
Big
Yeah,
ups to Ubisoft, man.
maybe it dropped the price.
Right?
Yeah, I want to check Amazon.
They're doing a collection that includes like the game and the DLC. I think it's like $60 or something. So
That...
pretty good.
Yeah, I still have to pay $60. Like, I would want to pay for... I don't want to buy the DLC if I decide I don't like the game.
Right.
Like...
I played it. It's really good.
So, I'm
I
going to
bet
say
it's pretty
something
nice.
that you may hate me for.
I'm
I
preparing the song.
may not get the Xenoblade DLC.
Oh, you're a terrible person.
I probably, once I see, like, if I see a story trailer, then I'll be like, okay, I have to get it. But, like, I haven't bought it yet. Like, there hasn't been anything like, oh my god, I need to go back. And I feel like once I see the story trailer, which I do believe will be at E3, right, kind of like how they showed the Breath of the Wild story trailer at last year's E3, I think when we see that, I'll probably be like, oh, okay, I need this, right? But for now, I haven't felt compelled to put down our 20 for that DLC.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. Actually,
and I love Xenoblade.
$30.
Oh, great! That's $10 more.
Yeah, I mean,
like $10. Yeah, no.
The content they put out is not even close to $30. I think it's gonna be big. I think there's no way they're charging $30 and they're just like, oh yeah, here's some side missions. Here you go. It's all good. So I think this story DLC is gonna be substantial. It better be, although I'm not buying it. I'm kind of the same boat with you. Like they don't get the story. Like I'm not buying it. I don't play Xenoblade for side quests.
Yeah.
Like I still haven't beaten like hardly any of the side quests. I literally just beat the entirety of the story. It took me like 60 hours. I did like 3 side quests. That was it. Like I didn't do the side quests. I just kind of like blasted through the story, and that's what I was there for. It's like I might go back eventually and do some side quests because some of them are actually pretty good. You know, go find all the heart to hearts and stuff like that. Those are really awesome. So like that kind of stuff. But like I don't care about side quests. So it better be like an actual story.
Yeah, I've been burnt too many times by buying DLC too soon, so I definitely wait.
Yeah, I never pre-ordered DLC. I think that's the stupidest thing ever.
Well, I'm pretty sure I pre-purchased the Breath of the Wild DLC.
I actually did because my subscribers bought it for me, so that doesn't count because I buy it.
Like I liked the Breath of the Wild DLC. I thought there was some really cool stuff in it, but here's the way I think about it. Right, the game costed $60, right? The DLC costed $20. The amount of content and enjoyment I got out of the DLC was not a third of the amount of content and enjoyment I got out of the full game.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if I think about it like that, you know, there's a huge disparity. Like, maybe the DLC added, like, 1 to 2% of more stuff to do. That's how, like, it didn't, like, change the game fundamentally. It did offer some extra cutscenes that I felt that the characters in the story actually needed, right? So that kind of goes against about the Nintendo philosophy, like the game should stand alone on its own, which it does gameplay wise, but I do feel like the story is a little lacking, and those DLC moments of the cutscenes I feel like give some of the the champion characters that depth that I think they should have had, you know, in the main game. I liked the mini dungeons in it, and I liked the boss fight. I don't know, like it wasn't like I said, it's I don't feel like I don't regret my purchase, like I was gonna get it regardless because I'm a Zelda fanatic, but it was not a third of the value of Breath of the Wild.
I mean DLC like it never is. The price versus how much it offers is hardly ever equatable, except Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8, man, that was some good pricing.
If you buy it together, $12.
Yeah,
that was like
16
twice
tracks.
as many tracks, man.
It's a $30 value.
See, they
Think
should
of
have
it like
stayed
that.
the course on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they stuck to that strategy, it would have been great. I would have paid another $12 for more Mario Kart. I would have paid $30 for 16 more tracks. Like, I would do that now. Like, if they... I want more Mario Kart content.
I'd pay 20. I'd like to pay 20. I'd pay 30, but I'd like to pay 20 because that's.
I would pay 30, right? Because that's how much I want it, right? But I don't think they should market it. That would not be a good business decision.
For how much they're offering I think 20 would be a good price. If they do 16 tracks, so it already has. I think that would be like adding on another fourth of the content, so it'd be a little bit more, but you know.
Yeah.
I feel like
price. Yeah. So let me address a few more questions. So Sab was asking me, Andres, do you think we'll see Luigi's Mansion 3 or Pikmin 4 revealed at E3? I do not think we'll see Luigi's Mansion 3 at E3. I do think there's a chance we'll see Pikmin 4 though. A chance. Because there's just so many games that I already expect to be seen at E3 that they don't need to show it off. Because
Pikmin 4 is like a random, like direct kind of game. And it's like coming spring 2019 or something.
Well, it could be kind of like the Kirby and Yoshi thing from last year, right? Like they show off a couple of trailers for games that are coming out next year, right?
Yeah.
So it could be that. Although I put Pikmin 4 like a notch above
I
those
feel like
games.
those games are going to be Metroid Prime 4 and Bayonetta 3, though. Because I think those are both coming out next year.
Oh, well, that would be a hype like next year thing. Like Kirby and Yoshi are what I don't call like hype. There's like, oh, cool games. Metroid and Bayonetta are like, oh, snap kind of games.
Right. Yeah, I might throw Pikmin 4 in there as well.
I'd be upset if that was the kind of attention to give Metroid actually. Not look, I'm not saying I'd be upset about the 2019 thing, which I'll accept that. What I'd be upset about is if they just showed it off in a brief 30-second trailer. Like I want like it to have its segment. Like this is Metroid Prime 4.
I just don't think it will if it comes out 2019 because I think it's going to come out the holiday. I think they're making that a holiday caliber game. So if it doesn't come out this holiday, I think they're going to show it off maybe 30 seconds. To a minute, maybe have a small segment at the treehouse, maybe, and then they're gonna. And I don't even think they'll have a thing at the treehouse. If it doesn't come out this year, they'll do anything by it's like a small trailer, maybe a special trailer at the treehouse. I think they've done that a couple different times. But if it's coming out holiday 2019, they're gonna save that for E3 2019.
Yeah. So, Mars, how do you feel about Luigi's Mansion or Pikmin 3, 4?
I'm more for. I can feel Pikmin 4. And then it could be a surprise. I mean, we're talking about it, but I think a lot of people will be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that one."
Yeah. People will be like, "Oh, that's real. Okay, cool." Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for Pikmin 4. Don't get me wrong. So we'll see. Let's see. What else you guys talking? You guys talking about a lot.
Let's see. They asked if we're a fan of Assassin's Creed.
Not really.
Let's see. I'm trying to give credit to whoever asked that, but
I was a fan of Prince of Persia, which is kind of like the Assassin's Creed is like the spiritual successor to Prince of Persia. I really liked Prince of Persia back in the day. I was a big fan of that. I loved the aesthetic of the desert, right, and like kind of like the Arabian sort of thing, and the ability to slow down time, and there's a lot of puzzles and orientation around time. Assassin's Creed just kind of feels it become an annual release, which sort of annoys me, which is hypocritical because I love Pokemon, which is almost an annual release, but I did skip out on Ultra Sun and Moon, so there's that. Yeah, so I'm not that big of a fan of Assassin. I don't hate it. I don't buy the games. So.
Right. I think Assassin's Creed Origins looks good. I kind of wanted to pick it up. I probably won't ever end up picking it up, but maybe.
I did
I'll definitely play it eventually.
I did like
the chance.
The concept of Black Flag because it was on
boats. I played Black Flag.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
My cousin has it. I was like, all right, it's okay. Yeah. How about you, Mars? Are you a fan of Assassin's Creed?
No.
or as the kids like to say, Ass Creed?
I never got into it. I tried it. It's not me.
Yeah. It's just not. I feel like the potential is really good. It just never lives up to my hype for it.
Pop Slayer saying he honestly wouldn't mind if someone beat the final trials for him at this point. I'm assuming he's talking about Breath of the Wild.
Right.
The Master Trials is pretty hard to power the Master Sword, the final one.
I've never even done the normal one.
I'm probably gonna do a stream where I just die every time. The thing is, it takes so much time to get there, and you die, and you have to start all over. It's really.
I don't have the patience for that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough.
Oh gosh, Halo Prime.
Oh, SSX series. I remember that back on the GameCube and the Wii. I never owned an SSX game, so I can't be like, yeah, love SSX.
I don't even know what that is.
From what I remember, it's a snowboard game.
Oh.
Yeah.
SSX Tricky.
Yeah.
Tricky.
It was really cool.
The dinosaur from.
That was a slogan
Star
for
Fox.
the Wii one, right? Or is that just a slogan for the series period?
I think that was Wii or GameCube. I can't remember.
I definitely remember that slogan though. Yeah. But anyways, from what I've seen, from what I've briefly played of SSX, it's really cool. So yeah.
Okay.
And on I remember the Wii one, like I remember they had put a lot of attention to the graphics and the style of the game. Like it sounded like they were trying to make the game like really awesome. So, yep.
Okay.
Blackstar Dude saying that he's gonna say he hates the Smash Bros community, but he enjoys playing the games. I mean, when people get competitive, there's a lot of things about competition that can bring out the worst in people. So
Right.
I kind of understand that. I may have mentioned to you guys probably like 1,000 times that, hey, I play competitive Pokemon, or I used to. And, sometimes I'll go online with Pokemon Showdown, which is technically not the Pokemon games, but you play on this website to, like, test out teams and do random battles and sort of simulate Pokemon battles. And there's tons of online interactions there. And there's always trolling. Like, people are like, oh, you suck, or you smell. And I'm just like, okay. Like, I don't even care. Like, it's just kind of like, sometimes I'll troll them, like, oh, but I don't do it like mean, like, insults. I'll be like, for example, if my Pokemon could explode, it's like, hey, be careful. I might explode. I don't know if you want to touch that. Like, I'll do stuff like that. Like, oh, watch yourself. Oh, I set up some stealth rocks. Oh, watch your feet. You might prick your foot on some rocks. Like, I'll do stuff like that. So, which, maybe that could be a good idea to deal with, like, gaming trolls, right? We're like competing with someone. Maybe just don't make fun of them, but maybe have fun with the situation, right? Like, just, joke around. So,
Right.
yeah.
I feel like some people just get too salty. They say a taunt and they're like, "How dare you use this in-game thing meant to taunt people to taunt me?" Then they get salty and just like, just calm down, bro. It's all good.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think about ready to end this one, guys. Is there anything else you guys want to sort of address before we call it a night?
I think we covered it all, bro.
What?
I think we covered it all.
Okay.
I think we did good.
So, sorry I'm lacking a little bit of energy today, guys. Today. See? I'm so done. Yeah, but, Brandon, I didn't ask you, and Mars, if you're down as well, I do expect there to be a Pokemon Switch announcement this week, and if it's hype enough, would you guys be down to do another impromptu podcast about this?
I'd be down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like,
it just depends on my work schedule, but yeah, just reach out to me. I can always let you know.
cool. So yeah, guys, if there's a huge Pokemon Switch announcement, I will have another stream just like this with another podcast. I normally do it on Mondays, but this could be such a huge announcement that we're gonna have to talk about it like immediately, right? And on top of that, next week we're doing the E3 prediction, so it's not like we're not gonna have enough stuff to talk about if we talk about Pokemon in the middle of this week. So be prepared for that. So if it's tomorrow or Wednesday, yeah, we're going live later in the night. But Sabbath, you're asking about game streams. It's not that I don't like playing games, because obviously I talk about it all the time. It's just kind of like, it's really hard to stream, especially because I care more about making videos, right? And I also want to be consistent with the podcast, so it's just really hard for me to get to it right now. So I will do more game streams. It's just kind of like, it depends. And on top of that, I have a laptop. Like, my laptop is what I'm doing all of this on. It sucks. Like, power-wise, it sucks. So whenever I stream a game, the frames drop. I'm sure the frames even drop during this, right? But the frames drop. The resolution's not that very good. The bitrate's not very high. So when I see the stream, I'm just like, man, that just doesn't look good. I'm trying to save up so I can get a new PC, right? So I can start streaming games at 1080p, 60 frames per second, right? Like, high bitrate, super high quality. I'm going to get a new microphone. Like, I want to do game streams, but, like, I really strive for quality. So because on my computer, like, a lot of times when I stream, I just feel like it just sucks. So, that on top of my really busy schedule is just hard for me, but they're coming. Just not all the time. Yeah. Brandon, though, he streams all the time. Actually, Mars also streams as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Mars, you've been streaming Splatoon and Mario Kart, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, they're better streamers than I am. So, definitely, if you haven't subscribed to them yet, make sure to subscribe. The links to their channels are in the description below. Please leave a like. And, yeah, guys, that's it for now. But, again, that Pokemon discussion is coming. So, be prepared. yeah, make sure your bodies are ready too. So.
My body is Reggie right now.
All right. Good night, guys.
Bye, guys.
Take care.